Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Natural20, and this is Today in Gaming for the 29th of June 2011. In the headlines today, Sony restructures its management, Valve releases Portal 2 community maps, and Resident Evil Mercenaries trade-ins are accepted by GameStop and Game. In the wake of the retirement of Sony chairman Akira Sato, as well as Ken Kutaragi from his role as honorary chairman of Sony Computer Entertainment, the games giant has shaken up its management structure. Moving to the role of chairman is Kaz Hirai, the man behind the infamous Ridge Racer line at E3 2006. Andrew House, former boss of the European division of Sony Computer Entertainment, takes Hirai's old role as president and group CEO of the company. House now finds himself responsible for continuing the development of the PlayStation brand. Executive Vice President of Sony Computer Entertainment Europe, Jim Ryan, will step into House's old job as CEO of Sony's European wing on the 1st of September. Hirai may also find himself in line for Sony CEO Howard Stringer's job after Stringer has found himself under consistent fire for the PSN hack debacle. Today, the CEO announced that he would be taking a pay cut of 16% to shareholders, and speaking at a Tokyo hotel, apologized for the hack and praised PlayStation gamers for returning to the system. However, there were still calls by shareholders for Stringer to resign, as they have seen the company's stock drop by 30% over the past 12 months. Hirai, by contrast, has been commended on his handling of the crisis. Practically, what this restructuring means is yet to be seen. Hirai claims, however, that I am confident that the skills Andy has gained over 2 decades working for Sony and SCE Group will contribute enormously in leading the PlayStation business and to bring new initiatives in managing the business in the networked era. Valve have released their first wave of community-based map packs for Portal 2. This comes following Valve's Summer Mapping Initiative, a contest that tasks players to come up with test chambers for the new game. The winner of the contest came from a user, Ebola, and is entitled Patent Pending. The chamber is 30 minutes in length and incorporates many aspects from later stages of the game. In second place came Mr. 2 Video Cards with his invention, Infinifling, which focuses on mid-air techniques. In a close third place was Edifice, a map made by user Omnicoder. It is described as a medium-hard, fairly long map, set in the remains of Aperture Science. The winners of the contest were lucky enough to be rewarded by Valve, who gave them real Aperture Science gels, and more prizes on the way for those who make the best music video for in-game track Exile, Vilify. These entries and more can be downloaded from site Thinking with Portals. Valve also intend for new levels to be brought to the Xbox 360 and PS3 playing masses, saying that DLC is coming this summer, and most importantly, that it will be free. EA have claimed that Star Wars: The Old Republic will have over 200 hours of gameplay per class, excluding crafting, raiding, and multiplayer components. In an interview with GameIndustry.biz, Frank Gibeau, EA Games boss, said that the MMO was gigantic. You look at a game that has 200 hours of gameplay for each of the 6 classes, and that doesn't include the crafting, the raids, the multiplayer. It's fast. It's a gigantic game, and that costs money. But when you get one of these launched, they persist for a very long period of time. Gibeau says that he wishes the game cost less. However, he also said that Ultima Online still has thousands of subscribers a decade on, and is still profitable for EA. Old Republic has been rumoured to cost in excess of $300 million to develop. However, EA boss John Rosatello has denied such a number, claiming that estimates were greatly exaggerated. The game is set to be released later this year. However, with no open or closed beta in sight, meeting such a date seems incredibly unlikely. BioWare bosses made it clear that they would not release the game until the quality was high enough, suggesting that the release date will be pushed back for more improvements to be made. Zelda Skyward Sword is to feature shake-ups in the conventional Zelda plotline. In an interview with Famitsu, Eiji Aonuma, the man heading up the latest Zelda project, has stated that the game features Link and Zelda amongst a new cast of characters in a boarding school-like environment. The flight-based minigames, found during the E3 demo, see Link competing against classmates, and at the start of the game, Zelda isn't actually a princess, similar to the plotline from Wind Waker. However, Aonuma was quick to draw comparisons between the game and Majora's Mask, saying that the game is structured similarly to the N64 classic. The main town, Skyloft, will be featured at the beginning of the game, and instead of leaving it in the dust, Link will find himself returning often to the city, and seeing the characters within progress with their lives as the game goes on. Further, the dungeon formula will be shaken up, with more new items featuring earlier on in the game, in order to avoid players getting bored of finding the slingshot, boomerang and fairy bow early on once again. Skyward Sword's official release date hasn't been announced yet, but the game is set to come out later this year, with simultaneous global launches in all regions, and it is also set to tie in with Ocarina of Time in some way, allowing Nintendo a 1-2 punch with Skyward Sword and Ocarina of Time 3DS. In related news, following the increase in sales generated by Ocarina of Time 3DS, the 3DS handheld has once again slumped into second place for the handheld sales in Japan. The new device from Nintendo once again lags behind the PSP, according to a report from Adrasang, selling only 27,905 units to the PSP's 29,168 units. Light battle experience from level 5 appears to be driving these hardware sales, having trumped Zelda for the past 2 weeks in Japan. Novarama, the developer behind Invisimals, has signed an exclusivity contract with Sony. The studio, based in Barcelona, is focused upon PlayStation Vita games, including launch title Reality Fighter. Novarama is the first company to bring augmented reality gaming to handhelds, with Invisimals. Nintendo recently used the same concept in its AR cards for the 3DS. Reality Fighter has augmented reality elements, incorporating combatants into backdrops, and has been very well received by press in the demos at E3. Bethesda has promised less, but more substantial DLC for The Elder Scrolls Skyrim. The developer behind Fallout 3 stated that the game would allow you to continue playing even after completing the game, avoiding the debacle that was Fallout 3's ending, and hence allowing you to use DLC to continue your character from that point. Todd Howard, the game director, has stated that he wants the pieces of DLC to be closer to an expansion pack feel, claiming that the Fallout 3 DLC pacing was very chaotic. However, Howard also hinted at the possibility of PC mods to be ported to the console versions of Skyrim. Elder Scrolls Oblivion, for example, was greatly improved by the community tinkering with the game. Howard claimed that a solution would not be implemented on launch, however it was something that they were looking into. And finally, Game and GameStation in the UK, alongside GameStop in the US, have decided to stock trade-ins of Resident Evil The Mercenaries 3D. The controversial title from Capcom will not feature the way to erase its saved game, prompting anger from gamers who took to Amazon today in order to Amazon bomb the game's reviews, in protest at the decision. Capcom maintained that even with the ability to delete save games removed, the game will still maintain its value for second-hand players. British chain HMV, however, have decided not to stock the game, stating that they wish to avoid any possible customer disappointment for those purchasing a pre-owned version. That's it from me here at Today in Gaming. As ever, you can check me out over on www.vtwproductions.com, as well as send me an email to vnat20@gmail.com. And also, you can follow me on Twitter as vnat20. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all tomorrow.